Hello, everyone. Welcome to Girls Night In. Thank you all for joining us. We have a really great program tonight with a lot of our great female students here at Kents Hill. These girls are really special, and get to spend a lot of my time with them. I spend some time in the upperclassmen girls dorm, Reed, where I get to be a dorm parent to some of these outstanding ladies, and I'm really excited to let them tell you their stories about their time here at Kents Hill. So we are recording this. So if you need to hop off, come back on, we will have the recording available tomorrow for you. If you have any questions throughout the program, you can put them right in the chat box and we will address them at the end of the call. So to start things off, would like to introduce you to Allison Lincoln Rich.
Hello, everyone. My name is Allison Lincoln Rich, and I'm the Dean of Enrollment Management here at Kents Hill. And I absolutely love my job. I get to work with wonderful girls like you have all here on this tonight. I want to say good morning and good evening, because for some of you, I know it's very early in the morning, and I appreciate you coming on. And for the rest of us, it's good evening. So without further ado, I want to kick this off so you can hear from our amazing girls on campus and what the power of girls can do. I'd like to next introduce Becca Reynolds.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Kents Hill School. It's so nice to see all of you here with us. Thank you so much for joining us. So I am so pleased to see you all here tonight, and I'm really excited to introduce you to some of the girls that make Kents Hill such an awesome place for me to live and work. So my family and I live here at Kents Hill in Reed Hall, which is the upper class girls dorm. And I work here in the admissions office, and many of you are familiar to me, and it's been a pleasure getting to know you through this process. It's always a pleasure to share Kents Hill with new families, and we are currently home to 200 students from 28 countries and 18 states. So tonight, we have asked 8 of our current female students to join us and share with you about their Kents Hill experience. We thought you would like to hear about academics, athletics, extracurricular, and day and boarding life experience. So to start off, it is my pleasure to introduce Amita. Amita has been at Kents Hill for 4 years and has made her mark here as a top scholar. Amita, I know you've enjoyed many connections with our faculty during your time here. Can you please begin by sharing that story with our guests?
Hi everyone. So I'm an avid learner and always looking to learn new things, and that's one of the reasons that I chose Kents Hill. And one specific subject that I've enjoyed in my time at Kents Hill is physics, and I've developed a special relationship with my physics teacher, Mr. Munson. I took college physics 1 my junior year, and I'm in college physics 2 this year. And to be honest, I'd say the class is probably one of the hardest classes that I've taken at Kents Hill, but it's also one of the most enjoyable. I just really love his love and passion for physics. And Mr. Munson, he also assigns character studies where we analyze ethical topics in science, which is really interesting because it's not just like formulas and equations. We also get to have discussions in class. And he just sets up a lot of different demonstrations and labs almost every week, just about different physics concepts that we can just like see like right in person. And one of my favorite labs is when we made some like electrical circuits and we learned how to wire a house, which I thought was pretty cool. And I was even able to take this knowledge outside of my class and help my brother build a like mini wind turbine for his science fair project. So I mean that was really fun. And coming up, so next week we'll be watching a mini series on the disaster of Chernobyl and holding class discussions about why Chernobyl occurred alongside learning about nuclear physics. And another faculty connection that I've made is with my pre-calc teacher that I had sophomore year, Miss Petrillo. And what I found interesting about this class is that it wasn't just formulas or math. We did like a lot of different projects, which I wouldn't really think is part of a math class. And so we like were able to like research sine waves through the patterns of actual like ocean waves in different areas of the world. And during COVID, we were able to use a graphing calculator, Desmos, and build like a Kents Hill monument or building using different types of lines and different types of shapes. And so I chose the dining commons, which is, I don't know, it was just really fun and really interesting. And to be honest, I feel like I've developed a connection with most, if not every one of my teachers, because all the teachers are always there to help you and they're very open to setting up meetings during the evenings or even before school. And then I feel like you just build a really close relationship with your teacher because you have them as your coach, dorm parent, club leaders, etc. You always see them around campus. And throughout these experiences, you really develop a connection and they know you both inside and out of a classroom setting. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amita. We really appreciate your perspective. Next, I would like to introduce you to Dana. Dana is a junior and has lots to share about dorm life and activities on the Hill. Hi, Dana.
Hi, Ms. Reynolds. Hi, everyone. So my name is Dana, and I'm from South Africa. And I originally came here on an exchange, and I loved it so much that I actually decided to stay. So I will be speaking about dorm life here. So your first week and your first few days moving in are really exciting, and everybody in the dorm is super helpful and friendly. And it almost feels like you've already joined a family and made bonds on your first few days, which was something that really stood out to me because I'm still friends with a lot or most of the people who I hung out with during that time. So let's start with Reed. So it's the junior, senior, and PG girls dorm, and juniors come in and they usually have a roommate. Seniors and PGs usually have their own room to themselves. And so curfew during the week is at 10 o'clock, and you have to be back in the dorm by 10, and lights out are usually by 10:30, or you have to be in your own room by then. But you really create a family community in your own dorm, and everybody is friends with everybody, and you lean on them like your family as you're boarding, so you don't have your family there. So they're almost like your sisters, and even people who I don't hang out with at lunch or don't have classes with, I still feel comfortable to go up and have a conversation with them anytime. So another thing I'll be talking about is weekend activities and things that you can do as a boarding student. So you can have weekend visitations. So students from other dorms or day students can come into your dorm and hang out with you in your bedroom or in the lounge, which is a lot of fun because sometimes a big group will come in and you'll have a movie night or you'll spend time playing music with each other. There's also trips out to Augusta, like Target, or movies in the movie theater. You can go bowling, and there's a lot of opportunity to suggest trips to one of the faculty members, and they'll make that happen if you would like to go somewhere else that isn't already planned. But on top of that, there's a lot of fun things to do on Kents Hill, on the campus. Sometimes we have bonfires and small making. There's manhunt. They set up movies in some of the places and the buildings around campus. We have a pizza oven and a pizza making club. So a lot of the time there's pizza making on campus, which personally I have a lot of fun on days that's an opportunity. But also you can get permission to leave campus with your day student friends or anybody that wants to take you off campus quite easily. You just have to organize it in advance. So I think life here at boarding is pretty incredible with all of the people you're around and the things that you get exposed to. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
That is great. Thank you, Dana. Next, I see Nora. Nora's been enjoying her popcorn. Nora is also a junior and is a day student. Nora will share her perspective on the advisory program. Thank you, Nora.
Hi, guys. So I'm not sure if you guys have heard about the advisory program yet, but our advisory program here is where you're paired with a teacher or a few teachers and a group of students who are like-minded. So if you haven't already, you'll probably fill out a form which you detail your interests, who you are as a person really, and you'll get paired with people who are like-minded and teachers that are like-minded so that when you go into Kents Hill, you already have this group of friends that you know you're going to match with, you know you're going to be friends with. And like me, I'm a major introvert. So when I came, I was nervous I wouldn't make friends, but you already have those people there for you. Like you usually meet before school even starts. So you're not super nervous going into it because you have people that you can talk to. Your advisor specifically, so your faculty members, they're there for you, whatever you need. Like if you're having social troubles, if you're having academic troubles, they're your eyes and your ears on campus, whatever you need. And they're your mentor, they're your spokesperson. They have your back. So one of my favorite things about advisories is the memories you make together, and the school plans events like school dinners where you sit with your advisory, or your advisor can go on outings together. you'll ride the bus with your advisor, you'll go to outside dinners. It's just really fun. And you get to grow and bond together and grow as a family. And when I was coming into Kents Hill, I didn't really think that I would need an advisor or need a faculty member, because you can go home at the end of the day and you can have your parents and you have your family at home. But the thing about Kents Hill is, like, when you come there, you have this huge community and they all seem so close knit and they seem so fun, and you want to be a part of that. I promise you'll want to be a part of that. And your advisory helps link you with that, so you don't feel like you have to pave your own way. At Kents Hill, you have those people to pave the way with you and to grow as a group, not just by yourself. Yeah, that's really what I have to say about advisories. But if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Thank you so much, Nora. That's wonderful. And I can speak for myself. I love being an advisor. It's super fun to have those close connections with students. So Naomi McGadney is on the call here. Hi, Naomi.
Hey, Miss Reynolds.
So Naomi is one of the girls that lives in Reed Hall, and Naomi would like to talk with you about her growth as an athlete during her time here at Kents Hill. So take it away, Naomi.
Yeah, so actually I'm a boarder this year. My first 2 years here, I was a day student. But when I came in as a freshman, I ran cross country because you're required to do 3 sports here, or 3 activities, and I chose to do 3 sports. But when I first came here, I ran cross country. I played basketball, but was like the 8th person off the bench. And then I ran track, but kind of got canceled due to COVID. But yeah, I think over the years, like this year, I was a captain on the soccer team and the basketball team as well. And I think what I've learned the most is like how to be a team player. Because before I came here, the only sport I really did was track. So like being a team player, or being connected with a team was something that was really new for me. So I think I grew to love playing with my teammates and not only learning how to push myself, but to elevate those around me. And I think here at Kents Hill, what I love about it so much is each season you spend so much time with your team that you get very close with them. You're connected, and like Nora said, it's just another group that you can count on, because you're going to see those people every single day. And like team rituals, team brunches, team lunches, like you spend a lot of time with them. And I think one of the things I've learned with being an athlete here also is just I always want to improve while I'm here, because I think we have a community here that a lot of people are motivated to play sports and motivated to be better. So I think in this environment, I've learned to push myself. And also the fact that the Alphon Center that we have, it's like not even a 3-mile walk, and there's a gym, there's a rink, basketball court. Like to me, it's like, how could you not want to go play like on the weekends or during your free time just to make yourself better? So I think that's what I've taken from playing sports here.
Fantastic. We really appreciate your perspective. Thank you so much. So for all of our guests, if any of you have questions that you're thinking of as we go along and you'd like to put them in the chat, we're going to have time at the end of the call to address some of those. I thought it might be fun to ask some of our students. We have some sort of panelists here tonight. So I thought it would be fun if we asked them some frequently asked questions and hear a little bit from some of our other special guests. So my first panelist is Margaret. And Margaret, I see you. Can you tell me about your experience here with the college counseling process? And what did this process, or what is this process looking like for you?
Yeah, of course. So I'm a junior, so I started the college counseling process this year. And so what we did at first is we joined this website called SCORE, and we basically just do this little survey, which helps our college counselors figure out where we're at, what we're interested to pursue in life. And then we find colleges and like analyze them, and then she'll suggest them for us, and we can meet with her and she'll go over our GPA, our grades, what classes we should take, and just everything into what college you want to get into. And what I've really liked about that is that I went into the college process very like, I want to do this, I want to go here. And as I've continued it, I've been exposed to a bunch of different colleges and options for what I want to pursue in life. And it's really nice to just have someone with you who really knows what they're doing and can guide you through that. So that way you feel like what you're doing is the right decision. And not only is it the right decision and very strategic, but it's also super fun and you just feel very comfortable in the environment of moving on out of high school. And so, yeah.
Great. Thank you, Margaret. And I know we have a few other juniors on the call that are in the sort of college counseling process now. So if there are questions about that at the end, I'm sure any of you would be really well suited to answer some of those as well. I have a question for Logan. Logan, I know Naomi told us a little bit about being an athlete here on campus. Can you talk a little bit more about that and how your coaches support you balancing school athletics and just balancing life in general here at Kents Hill?
Well, most of the coaches are teachers, so they really do understand that like things get crazy, things get hectic during your sports seasons, and they are really lenient with you. And aside from like having your coaches be your teachers and these people you see like all the time, you build really great relationships with your teams and you can just constantly see these people. And it's super nice to have these bonds, like everyone else said, that you can rely on. And aside from that, when it does get busy, everyone else might be just as stressed as you. Like you have these groups that you can like, everyone has shared experiences, and it is super nice to have that close group of friends during each season.
Great. What sport are you playing right now, Logan?
I'm playing softball right now, and it's not my top sport, but it is super fun because of the group of people I'm with, and my coach is making it super enjoyable.
Great. And you play basketball in the winter?
Yes, basketball is my main sport, and they are super great about like if you have a sport you want to pursue in college, there's multiple people that will help you with that.
Great. Good. Well, thank you. So Dorothy, I see you. Hi, Dorothy. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. So I want you to think back to your first week on campus. Can you talk about how you worked to build connections with other students while being away from home? And maybe you'd like to tell everyone where home is for you.
Yeah, so I'm from Germany, and due to COVID, I was not on campus before. So I came over and I was really nervous about making connections in a different language, being away from home and just being in this new place with absolutely no friends. And so I did think about that a lot. But the moment I drove on campus from the airport, there were people running at us and greeting us, and they were so excited to see us. And I was like, how can you be so excited? Like, you don't even know me. But it was really, really great. And then students were showing me around. And at the very first night, we were playing outside of the commons. We were playing cornhole. And teachers came and played with us, which was really new to me because the teachers in Germany don't really do that, but they were there playing with us, and everyone was just so open and so friendly that I don't even remember it being hard for me to open up and make friends. And then the first week, we did not have any classes. We only had fun activities where you got to know people. We went on on class trips with your class, which was super fun. Like my friends and I, we still look back and we're like, we just want to do that again. That was so much fun. And I don't know how it was so easy to make so many friends in such a short time, but it somehow worked out and everyone was just so nice and open. Yeah.
Great. And you talked a little bit about class projects. What did your grade do? What did the juniors do?
Yeah, so the juniors stayed at a camp, and it was 2 nights, and it was at a lakefront, and we just did a lot of fun activities. We went swimming, we played basketball and a lot of gaga ball, and you sleep with a lot of other students in a cabin, and that was just so much fun. So yeah.
Sounds like a great time. Good, Dorothy, thank you. I'm going to go back to Logan. Logan, I also wanted to ask you a little bit about being a day student. What is it like for you? And what are some things you do to stay involved in the community? And also, how do you build relationships with boarding students? Like, what does that look like for you?
Well, at first I was very nervous, like connecting with boarding students because it seems like a separate group, but people really like ease you into it. You have these classmates and you can go to study halls with them. You share meals with them, and it's like there's not even separate groups. They're just everyone's part of this huge community, and it's super nice to have like all these close friends. Like you can go on day students can go on weekend trips, I'm pretty sure, and you're able to eat meals and like brunches. It's just super nice, and you can always come and visit, or that you could take them off campus if it's a boarding student.
Sounds good. Ava, you're also a day student, right?
Mm-hmm.
And an artist, among other things. So Ava, I wanted to ask you about art and how you have been able to display your artwork on campus. And I know that some of our guests are probably curious about your independent study that you did in fashion design. So maybe you could talk a little bit too about that process and what that was like for you, how you went about arranging an independent study.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think to start off, I tour a lot of kids who are really creative but don't know exactly what their passion is yet. And I think at school, the faculty has really helped, at least me, find what I'm passionate about. So as a freshman, you can take a bunch of, we have a freshman art seminar where you can find out what you like by trying a bunch of different courses. And even as a sophomore or junior, you can try out a ton of different courses and find what you're interested in art wise. But yeah, so I really like to paint. So if you're really passionate about art, you can join advanced placement art, which is what I'm in. It's just AP art, that's what we call it. And it's basically where you pick one thing and you do it for the entire year. So if you really like to paint, which is what I do, I paint for the entire year about one topic. Or Nora's in AP art, she does 3D stuff. So she makes like sculptures for the whole year. And I think what's really interesting about the art at Kent Hill is that they're not exactly telling you you have to make something. You can pick and choose what you want to create, and the teachers help you figure out how to do that, which I really like that. But yeah, so my sophomore year, I did an independent study, and that's basically where if at school they don't have an exact course that you're interested in, if you're doing well academically, you can request to make your own course. So that's what an independent study is. So last year I was very passionate about fashion. The phase has kind of ended a little bit, but you know what? It was really good. I had a lot of fun. And so basically what you do is you talk to Dr. Priest, who's the head of academics, gives you a bunch of paperwork, and it looks really intimidating, but I swear it's not. You just say, hey, I'm really interested in this, and this is why, and this is how I can learn this year. And you find a faculty member. So I got one of the art teachers, his name is Dylan, to help me out. And yeah, that's literally it. So you can sit down with your faculty member once a week, or not once a week, because we have rotating days. But yeah, you meet with them every week, and yeah, I just made a bunch of fashion designs. I made a bunch of collections, and it was really fun, and I was really passionate about it. And I highly recommend doing that if you are really passionate about slang. A lot of kids I talk to are really passionate about different languages that we don't offer here. So if you're interested in something other than Spanish and French, you can request to make an independent study of whatever language you want. And that goes with science, math, whatever, English classes as well. So highly recommend.
Fantastic. And I also wanted to highlight that right now in our art gallery, you have a beautiful display of much of your work. So can you talk a little bit about how you were able to actually use that space and what that process looked like for you?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, sorry, I have my dinner sitting on the floor right now. I'm eating.
talked to Dylan. There are 3 art faculty members right now, I believe. So Dylan, who's in charge of 3D and like ceramics and stuff, Mr. Jenkins, who does drawing and painting and advanced art, and Mr. Mack, who does like photography, digital media, short film, stuff like that. So you literally go up and talk to them and say, I'd be really interested in doing a gallery show. That is all you have to do. And they'll be like, okay, we'll find time for you. That's it. And then you're going to have one in a few months after you create some really cool things with them. And that's what I did. And that was kind of my goal as an artist. When I was a freshman, I remember seeing, oh my gosh, the coolest things in the gallery. And I was like, that'll be me one day. And yeah, so accomplished that goal.
Thank you, Ava. I really appreciate that. So thank you to all of our Kents Hill School girls for being part of our call. Do any of you have anything else that you would like to share that you just thought of that popped into your head that you think maybe our guests would like to hear a little bit more about, whether it's about athletics or academics, advising, any of the classes that you've taken that have been really enlightening for you? I would love to hear from any of you on any of those topics. Anyone feel like that? Dana?
I just wanted to add about college counseling. Obviously, being so far away from home, I don't have my parents here to help me with the process. So I work very closely with the college counseling wing. I also am a field hockey player, so I'm trying to get into college through sport. And currently there's a lot of field hockey clinics which are going on. And that's obviously a way that the schools look at you to recruit you to their teams. And I have found that a lot of the faculty, like teachers not even involved in college counseling, the college counselors, everybody has been super helpful in trying to get me to these clinics, organizing ways that I can be seen by coaches and getting me on the radar of colleges that I'd like to go to after Kents Hill. So I found that I was very scared, and I still am quite scared about it, obviously not being with my parents and not having their input about it all the time. But I found that I've been very supported by everybody, that it has made it very easy for me to not stress myself out about going into college and finding teams that want me to play on that. So I just thought I'd mention the support that even boarding students get to leave campus to get recognized.
Thank you for that perspective. Dorothy.
What I would like to add about athletics is that so I came here and all 3 sports that I've played this year were my first time playing the sports, and I've been on varsity for every team. And I think it's really cool that we have athletes in the team who go to college for the sport, but also people that are totally new. And I really just love to be in a team like that, because the athletes support each other and everyone is really competitive. So we do have really good teams, and you are getting really good in a really short amount of time. But you have the support from the coaches, from your teammates and everyone. And I just think it's really cool that you have the opportunity to try new sports and get good at them.
Thank you. We love having you on our teams. I think Nunzi may have a few questions that she'd like to ask. So Nunzi, I'm going to pass it over to you.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, girls. So great to hear from all of you and to hear about your experiences and what makes this place special for you. I do have some questions coming through, and if anyone else has anything else that they would like to ask, feel free to type it in the chat box. So I will start with this first question, and I will direct it to Naomi. And the question is, are there female only opportunities, like different clubs or something like that?
Yeah, there's at one point the collective was a female only group where girls would get together, talk about, it could be like issues on campus or things they want to talk about and just rant about sometimes. And also, if you feel as though that there could be another only girls club, you could go to any faculty and ask them to sponsor it, and you could make your own club that way as well.
Thank you. The next question, and I'll answer this since I know we don't have any freshman boarders. The question is, do freshmen share a dorm room with a roommate? And if so, do we get to know who they are before the school year? Yes. So I can't remember who mentioned this at the beginning, but that you do get to fill out a form, and that asks about your interests and your sleeping habits and how you like to study, and you'll be paired with someone who has similar interests with you. Maybe not like similar extracurricular interests, but maybe, you never know. And yes, you will be paired with a roommate up in main hall, which is where underclassmen girls stay right now. The next question, I will target this one to Margaret. Someone would like to know more about skiing here at Kents Hill.
Yeah, so I'm on the Alpine race team, and I really like it. Basically, how our season goes is that we have practice every day, and we walk down to the ski hill, and it's a nice little short walk, and then we get ready in our ski lodge, and then we go and we do runs instead of course. And basically, it's a really nice environment because we have people on our team who are really passionate about ski racing, and then we also have people who have never even skied before. So it's a really supportive environment, and you basically get to go at your own pace, and the coaches are there to help you and guide you. And I know that like sometimes you're just also not having a good day, and I know that my coaches will always be super supportive and be like, if you need to take a little second and compose yourself and then get back on the course, or even just do a few free runs, it's totally up to you. So it's very like supportive environment, but we're also very competitive, and our coaches are really there to support our passion about ski racing, which is amazing. And sometimes we even get to go out of state for ski races, and we get to go to different mountains, and it's super fun. And so that's basically our ski program. It's just a fun, supportive environment on our own ski hill, which is really fortunate that we get to have that as well.
Thank you, Margaret. My next question I will give to Dorothy, and someone would like to know if there are opportunities to go off campus. Dorothy, if you don't know the answer to this, it's okay. I can answer it for you, but I thought you might. Are there opportunities to go off campus to like get my hair done or have my nails done or anything like that, since they're going to be here for boarding?
Yeah, so if you have weekend trips that you want to do and you have like a bunch of friends that want to go with you, you can always go to Miss Jude and she will set that up. But also there's a lot of faculty members that are just like, for example, Donna and our practice got canceled last week, and we just asked the field hockey coach, hey, are you going to town by any chance? And could you take us with you? And so she just took us off campus and we went to Target, and there's a lot of faculty members who are just willing to do that. And so you can probably arrange a trip with Miss Troop, but you can also find a faculty member who is willing to take you. So it's pretty easy to get that done.
Awesome. Thanks, Dorothy. My next question is Allison here? Yes. Well, I will wait. I think she's here.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, great. Hi, sorry. I couldn't see on my screen. The next question I'll give to you, someone's interested to know if reclassing is common for our students.
Yes. So reclassing is actually really common. Through COVID, so many kids lost time in education, and they want to regain that time as best as they can. So they're reclassifying. We have a number of students that will be reclassifying in the 10th grades and in the 11th grades as well. So it's actually become really, really common for kids to do that.
Thank you. My next question, I will pass on to Amita. And the question is, how many classes do you take at once?
So usually you take 6 classes and then you have 1 free period. So, yeah.
Right. Thank you. And Nora, if you could answer this question. It's my first time going away for school. I'm really nervous to make new friends. How did you make new friends? Are there clubs that I can join, or what other examples are there?
I think what's challenging, but also really cool about Kents Hill is that you're required to do an after-school activity. And that's usually one of the first few days you're back at school after what we call projects, which I'll talk about too. But your after school activity, you connect with people who have the same interests as you. So it's like, you're probably going to find a friend there. And if not, then during school projects, which is the first few days of school, which Dorothy talked about earlier, you go with your class on a trip. And so if you're a junior, you go to a camp. I think if you're a freshman, you go to Booth Bay or Bar Harbor, something like that. And I'm not sure what the sophomores do. Maybe someone else can say, but seniors go whitewater rafting and stay and do that. So you basically are not forced to make friends, but you're like forced into activities with people that everyone's in the same boat as you. So you don't feel like you're the only one out, if that makes sense.
Thank you, Nora. The next question I will give to Ava because I know she likes to snowboard. And the question is there a snowboard racing team and do you go out of town for races?
Yeah, so we've had competition in the past. We haven't this year because of COVID. And I don't know if it was just COVID entirely, but we didn't have any trips this year. But I'm not an expert. I just learned this year. So bad, but it's really, really fun. And the coach, he's not a teacher. He comes specifically to teach snowboarding and freestyle. And I don't know if Margaret said this, but we have 3 teams on the hill. We have racing, freestyle, which includes snowboarding, and recreational skiing, which just means if you really want to get out on the hill and you don't know how, rec skiing is where it's at. I did that for 2 years and it was awesome. But yeah, snowboarding is really fun. The coach is really awesome. He has the cutest dog in the world. Love it.
Awesome. Thanks, Ava. The next question I will give to Donna. If I'm living in the dorm, will I have male or female dorm parents?
So in Reed, which is the dorm that I'm in, which is the upperclassmen for girls, I think it's mainly only women parents, dorm parents in our dorm. There is Mr. Reynolds, who is Mrs. Reynolds' husband, and he lives in the apartment which is attached to the dorm, but he's not somebody who comes on duty and is necessarily in charge of us. So no, I'd say that it's only female dorm parents.
Thanks, Donna. The next question for Logan. What is your typical schedule for the day?
Well, you can go up to breakfast to start off the day, and then you usually have 2 classes in the morning, but your schedule really rotates. Like every day is different. It kind of flips back and forth. So one day I have 2 classes, which is really nice. I'll have a class before lunch and a class after. And then another day I have 4, but that really depends on the student. So, and then there's morning meetings some days, and the classes, they actually change like based on the season. So in winter, you'll have 55-minute classes. And then in spring and like fall, you will have an hour-long classes, which I honestly really like. And it's not an overpacked day. It will vary a lot.
Thanks, Logan. And I just saw someone ask, what time does breakfast start and end? And I'm just going to look right here. Breakfast is from 7:30 to 8:30, at least in the fall and the spring. I'm not sure if that's the same in the winter, but just looking at the schedule here from 7:30 to 8:30 on weekdays. And then on the weekends, there's brunch from, correct me if I'm wrong, 10 to 12, I think. Any of my boarding students? Yes. Okay, great. The next question is, do you work a lot with computers or iPads in class? And if so, will I need a dedicated one for school? So I guess really anyone could answer this. Ava, are you there?
Yeah, so you will be working on a computer / iPad, and you should get one for the school year. But I'm coming from a public school where everything we did was on computers, typing papers, doing research, literally everything. And it's very different here. You do a lot more hands-on activities. You do a lot with paper, but yeah, you do need a computer or an iPad to write essays and, get through your years here.
Thank you. The next question, and I'm hoping that Mrs. Reynolds or Miss Lincoln Rich can talk about this, is when do we find out our class schedule for next year?
Hi, everybody. So very shortly, what is going to happen is that an adult from the school, probably a teacher or advisor, is going to be in contact with you. And what we will have done is sort of taken a look at your transcripts that you provided to us during the admissions process. And we will take a look at those and we will sort of plug them into kind of a matrix where it will give us what the recommendation is for next year for you. So we'll be able to come to you and your family with recommendations for what classes we think would fit you well for next year. And we'll meet with you about that by Zoom and talk with you through that process and sort of come up with a schedule for you. And then in the fall, when you get here, you will be given your schedule and you'll be able to try it out. And if you like the way that schedule feels for you and the classes feel challenging enough and it all seems to fit well, you'll stick with it. If something doesn't feel quite right and you want to make a change, we have a 2-week add drop period. So there's a period of time there where you can decide to make changes to that schedule. So we will be getting in contact with you to work on your schedules and to set those with you very shortly.
Thank you. And to follow up with that, someone just asked if we have to take a placement test. I'm assuming for a different level courses. Do you know the answer to that?
I don't know the answer to that. I don't know if any of the girls, if you remember when you first came about placement tests, it seems like Dorothy might have something to say. But before I get to you, Dorothy, or maybe Amita too, we can certainly find out specific answers and get back to you. So if you have further questions about that after this call, please reach out to me and I'll help connect you with who you need to talk to. But Dorothy, did you want to talk about placement tests at all?
Yeah, so I didn't have to take any placement tests, so we don't have to take them for math or stuff like that. But I know that in Spanish, they do look at what classes you took like before, but you also take a placement test, which kind of helps them to figure out what class you should get in, but it's not only the placement test that decides where you go in. It's more for the teacher to see like where you are and where new students are in comparison to students that were in that class last year at Kents Hill. So, yeah.
Thank you. The next question.
Amita had something.
Say something.
Go ahead, Amita.
I think it depends from teacher to teacher, because I remember there's some math classes I've taken a placement test, but it's just kind of to see like where is everyone at. Not really like gonna kick you. I'm gonna kick you out if you don't get like if you don't pass or something. It's not really like that. It's just kind of seeing like where everyone is. But I think it depends from teacher to teacher.
Thank you. The next question asks, and I'll just go ahead and answer this one. What do you do about doctor and orthodontist appointments? Our nurses coordinate with our faculty members to find someone who will take any boarding student off campus for any sort of appointment they may need, whether that's doctor, orthodontist, dentist, whatever it could be. And they, I think, have a lot of local partnerships with different doctors and area hospitals. So that's always covered and never a worry that anyone needs to have. And the next question, what kind of computers do most students use and can get IT help with? I can also just answer that as a general question. Our IT department, they are very talented and they can pretty much work on any computer you have, I think. I see MacBooks, I see HPs, Dells, Lenovo's. So really any computer that you have will do and will work with our systems and with classes. So I think that's the answer to that. And that was our last question of the evening. So I just want to say thank you to all of our girls. It was so great to have you on here tonight. And then to all of our new girls on this call, whether you are accepted, enrolled, just thinking about coming to Kents Hill, whatever part of your journey you are, we're just so excited to have you here, and really excited to see you this fall and to introduce you to these girls in person if you haven't met them yet. So thank you all so much for joining us and have a good night.
Thank you.